Scott, how would you describe the mood out there? Just relaxed?
Yeah, no, they are. No, they've recovered really well. All the physical signs, all the wellness signs are all really positive. So beautiful day out there. So they're excited to get over to Melbourne and see what we can do.
Just on that, Scott, Nick Poulos seems to have done a fantastic job in getting you. And you've said about how the best in the 5 years that you've seen here.
Yeah, no.
How good a job have you done?
Oh, well, I think collectively our PPT area has been outstanding. So not only Nick, but, you know, Matty Bowe, Jared Wallace, all those guys in the background have done an unbelievable job to get us in the condition that they're in, and to be healthy at this time of year is important.
Is there doubt over anyone, Scott? A lot didn't do much, but is there any doubts over any player?
No, everyone's all fine.
So how do you deal with selection when, you know, particularly at the back where you've had the talls, the mids and all that, and you might not be quite sure what Hawthorn are going to do? How do you cover all your options there?
Well, just through experience, I guess, with how we've matched up against them before. And once again, it's more about how we want to play as well. So you got to have an eye on the opposition, but also what's best for us to win the game of footy.
But is it testing for you to know how many tall defenders, how many mid-sized ones are there?
Oh, that's a constant, Rooch. Every week you're having that discussion in match committee. So, I mean, we can't control what the opposition do, but we try and limit the risk or the exposure the best way you can.
In terms of Hawthorn and 3 losses in 7 weeks to 3 interesting teams, do you look at those or do you say, I'd rather the Crows way be backed in rather than look at what Hawthorn did or what Port did or what Richmond did? Yeah,
I think you can fall into a trap if you start watching opposition teams and trying to pick things out that they've done really well, because it's hard to implement. So we'll be backing our systems in to get the job done.
So what of the Crows way do you think is critical this time around, particularly after the last 2 weeks where...
It's all encompassing, you know. I think whichever team you play, you have to be winning the ball at ground level. We have to be able to move the ball in offence as well as what we have been, and we have to obviously defend a bit better than what we did on the weekend. So all those things are a weekly proposition for us. It's how well we can execute them on Friday night.
You haven't used a traditional tagger this season. Any thoughts of using one on Mitchell? Because you did a lot of clearances last time you played him.
Yeah, no, well, last time, if you watched, we actually tagged him with Rory Laird, so, and Sam had 25, so, you know, that's always, once again, these questions come up in match committee all the time, what ifs, what do you want to do, but essentially sometimes you end up worrying more about the opposition than what you want to try and achieve, so we'll have plans in place, no doubt, but we'll back our system in.
I think it was Ricky Anderson said yesterday that what West Coast did to Hawks a couple of weeks ago sort of almost, I guess, sort of reinforced your plan for them. Have you sort of borrowed much from what they did, or do you just try and focus on what you're going to do?
No, we'll focus in on what we want to do. I think some of those teams play similar sort of footy to the way we want to play, so yeah, you watch it and see, but at the end of the day, it's about executing those things. So we'd be silly to sit here and say, yeah, we're going to do exactly what West Coast did, because we're not West Coast. So we've got enough firepower forward, we've got a really strong midfield, and our defence has held up really well. So we'll be backing those things in.
But have you prepared your group to deal with that anticipated intimidation that Hawthorn will put up?
It happens every week. I mean, it's just because, you know, we hear about Hawthorn and the way they play. They're a tough footy team, they're a contested footy team, and they've got the runs on the board. But our group, knowing our group, we won't be backing down to anything that Hawthorn throw at us. And it's a final and it's cutthroat, so we expect it, and hopefully we can dish a bit back. In
the view of the last time where they seemed to target Charlie Cameron and Eddie Betts, how would you deal with it this time?
We'll have some things in place about where we can play them and those sort of things. But at the end of the day, that stuff, sometimes the players have to deal with that themselves, and it's like being tagged. You know, if Dangerfield gets tagged, he has to deal with that as well. So there's only so much you can do. But at the end of the day, if you as an individual perform and play your role, all the other stuff's irrelevant.
Are they mature enough not to get sucked in this time?
Yeah, I think so. I think you learn as you go along with all those situations.
How beneficial was it to get the win at the MCG last week, psychologically going into this game?
Yeah, no, it's a big win for them mentally. You know, we only played there once during the year against Carlton. You know, it wasn't a great game by any means, but we managed to get the win, and I just love the resilience of the group. I mean, it could have been quite easy for them just to say, no, it's not our night, but that's not this group and this footy club. So to be able to go neck and neck for 4 quarters and then finally break it open in the last 2 or 3 minutes, and the composure that the group played with in that last 7 or 8 minutes gives them real belief.
For all the things that were thrown up on Saturday night, and there was a fair bit, did you just focus 1, 2, 3, or did you go through the whole lot?
No, as coaches we went through the whole lot. That's we were really simple. It was more about reinforcement. Obviously, particularly as coaches, sometimes you can delve into the negatives a lot and how you can get better. But to be in that situation, actually win, there was some great passages of footy and some great stuff in there. So we really focused in on that.
You said that the boys were excited about tomorrow, or are excited about tomorrow. How are you feeling?
Yeah, no, I'm excited as well. I mean, it's the unknown. I mean, it's a cutthroat final. They've been outstanding all year. Our guys, particularly with what's happened, and whatever happens, I'm proud of them. But I know that they've got some unfinished business, and they want to keep moving on towards the goal that they set out at the start of the year with.
Yeah, plenty of guys played their first final last week. Have you noticed anything different about them in the build-up to this final? Sort of more composure or anything like that?
No, not really. This week's more been about trying to get them recovered and move on. As we know, footy's one game at a time, really. So we had to get out of last week's game, as good as it was, but we had to start focusing on Hawthorn pretty quick. And with a 6-day break, it comes around pretty quick. So no change in attitude. More about just making sure they're ready to go.
And it's good. How do you score on the track?
Sorry?
They didn't walk a bit taller on the track?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, and confidence is a wonderful thing this time of the year, so I hope they are. I know they're feeling good, and I know they're positive about the way we play, and they got great belief.
Tex had a dominant performance last week. How much of a headache do you think he'll cause for Alistair Clarkson?
A big one, I hope. That means he's playing well, but Tex and Eddie and JJ, Charlie, Riley Knight, we've got some firepower down there, no doubt about that, but it's whether we can get it in there enough times to give them opportunities is the big thing. But knowing Alistair and Hawthorn Footy Club, they'll be more worried about what they want to try and achieve. So
is there a reason why John Worsfold went to Melbourne last night?
Oh, well, when he took the job, Rich, he had appointments already pre-booked, and this is just one of those occasions that he had to get to Melbourne. Yeah, laws of the game.
Laws of the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Plus a speaking engagement.
Just on the other matter of the week, how did you take Mark Rashudo's apology?
Oh, I didn't even know anything about it, to be quite honest. Even when Shuts came and spoke to me about it. I mean, I was in here at 6:30 in the morning reviewing the game, so I'm sure I haven't even heard it, to be quite honest, so I had enough to worry about this week.
But how did you take the apology, though?
I haven't even heard the apology or...
But didn't he ring you and apologise?
Oh, he sent me a text message to say that, what was said was taken out of context, and so that's fine. I didn't hear it, so I can't comment on it.
Scott obviously stopped and a lot of KPIs were down last week. Can you get away with that again?
I think, no, not always. I think the other night we got away with it. But that won't be a focus this week. That's one of our real strengths of this footy club. So, as I've said before, to win that area of the ground gives you opportunities inside forward 50. So if you lose that area, you're normally defending in your back half. So it's going to be critical tomorrow.
Both sides have been very high scoring this season. Do you see it as more of a shootout, or to get back to the traditional final being all defensive?
No, I think it'll be both. I think it'll be a tough contested game. As you said, both teams can score well and move the ball really well. But once again, it'll be how well you can limit the opposition's inside 50s and their opportunities.
Well, 65, you want to see that number again. How do you limit that then?
Yeah, well, as I said, some of that's on the back of stoppage. So obviously centre bounce, being minus 10 or 11 through there, that's automatically 10 inside 50. So we need to square the ledger in there or be positive through there, and then some of it's still a work in progress with some of our defensive formation.
Is there a rethink on what you're doing in the centre square after the last 2 weeks, or are they strayed away from something? Or?
No, we'll back our structure in.
What do you make of the support you've received over the last couple of weeks from all the fans?
Sorry?
What do you make of the support you've received over the last couple of weeks from all the fans?
Me personally, or the footy club? Oh no, well our supporters have been outstanding all year. I mean, to have what we've been through, you know, for the supporters, not only just recently but over the last couple of years, they've stuck, you know, fat with us and really supported the playing group. They have understand what's going on behind the scenes. They're well informed by, you know, Fags and upstairs, and they want to see us succeed. You know, it's an emotional game, and this club wants success and needs success, and they're enjoying the ride, I guess, as well.
Who do you think was happier this morning to see Danger run out, the supporters or the team?
I think probably the supporters. Yeah. Oh no, he's been outstanding all year, Danger, and let's hope he plays well tomorrow night.